All right, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm talking about a highly requested topic of how I'm balancing strength training, bodybuilding, CrossFit workouts with endurance running, specifically my ultra marathon training. There's not a lot of information out there on how to be an ultra marathon runner and hold muscle, even gain muscle, gain strength while you're doing that. But there is one guy in particular that's been around for literally like over a decade, and he's been very successful at it. He literally sets records in strength sports. He sets powerlifting records while doing Ironmans and ultras and all of that. This guy's a beast, but he has kind of a unique way of training that I've been trying out for the last few weeks, and so far it's really paying off. It's completely changed up the way I'm running. I'm doing different things as far as the amount of miles I'm doing. I'm changing up even the way I'm doing strength training, but so far it's been game changing. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. If you haven't seen my how to gain muscle as a runner, definitely check out that video. That's kind of the prerequisite to this. That actually goes bullet point by bullet point on how to actually hold and gain muscle while doing long distance running. But this is going to go a little bit more in depth on my actual programming, how I'm actually programming, the bodybuilding workouts, the CrossFit workouts with the amount of miles I'm doing for ultra marathon training. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Right now I'm getting ready to go to the gym. It'll be my first day actually going to a gym since this whole situation. Everything here in Texas is pretty much open back up. I've got access to LA Fitness and Planet Fitness. Those are the two gym memberships I've got. So I'm kind of having to work with that. Right now I'm wanting to build out a garage gym, but every single thing is pretty much sold out. Actually, let me go ahead and show you what I've got in the garage. All right, so right now my garage gym is pretty much non-existent. I've got these 15-pound dumbbells, these 5-pound dumbbells. I've got this pull-up and dip bar. I've got a medium-sized sandbag that goes up to 75 pounds, a large one that goes up to 200 pounds with obviously the sandbag fillers. I've got my 5'11" Tac plate carrier. And then this week I ordered a Rogue squat rack that will go right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put stall mats from Tractor Supply down here, but right now I'm wanting to build out this garage gym, make it a freaking awesome garage gym. The problem is every single thing right now is sold out because of the whole situation going on. So when Rogue went ahead and they got in stock that squat rack, I bought it up immediately. Right now I'm searching every day for barbells, plates, everything that I'd want to go ahead and essentially make this garage gym. But right now I'm having to work with the Globo gyms. Today's gonna be my first day actually going to a gym. So I'm making it work. The sandbag workouts so far have been killer, but I wanna go ahead and mix it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the gym, and then I'll go ahead and talk to you guys about how I'm balancing strength training with ultramarathon training. All right, what's going on, y'all? I just got home. I actually pulled an audible. My buddy who owns a CrossFit gym hit me up and asked if I wanted to come and do a workout with him. So I flipped today and tomorrow's strength session. So tomorrow I'm gonna go do more of the bro session, the bodybuilding session at Planet Fitness or LA Fitness. But today I got a good CrossFit workout in, and then this afternoon I've got a run. So I need to go ahead and get calories in. So I've actually been on a kick lately of this chocolate peanut butter, this whey protein by BPN. I keep going back and forth on whether I like this flavor better or the cinnamon roll. I know a lot of you out there love the cinnamon roll flavor, and I go back and forth on which one's my favorite. Keep in mind that you guys can get 10% off all BPN supplements with code Braden. You can see that down in the description box below, but this is becoming my favorite protein by far. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about how I'm balancing all this strength training with all the miles I'm doing for ultra marathon training. If you want to be, a long distance runner, marathon runner, even an ultra marathon runner, or even if you want to, be a short distance runner, but you're trying to put on strength, put on muscle, this is where I would recommend you start. Now, if you watched my how to gain muscle as a runner video, one of the points I listed was the argument of volume and intensity. If you are just a runner, you're just, say a marathon runner, just going out and doing your miles, as long as you're doing all your, recovery protocols, you're stretching all of that, that's where you can really up your volume and up your intensity. Same thing on the strength side. But the problem with us, the hybrid athletes, those of us that, we kind of want it all, we want the muscle, we want the strength, we also want the endurance, we really have to make sure we've got that perfect balance between volume and intensity. Because if you're going, all out, you've got all the intensity, say on speed work, then you're doing, very intense, say Metcons and CrossFit workouts, and then you're, trying to go lift as heavy as possible. That's where, you're not going to be able to recover as well, and you're definitely not going to be able to perform in any one of these modalities. Same thing if you're upping the volume. If you're going out doing 80-mile weeks while trying to, hit, 30 sets of whatever in the gym, you're not going to be able to recover. You're not going to be able to perform. So that's where us as hybrid athletes, you've got to have the balance between volume and intensity. And this is where I struggled in the beginning. In the very beginning, when I was trying to set up kind of my strength programming with my endurance programming, I had a lot of volume in there, probably too much volume in there for what I could really handle to recover. And that's where I really had to nail down the balance between volume and intensity. So before we go any further, keep in mind that this doesn't really apply to, those of you that want to be those elite marathoners, elite ultra marathoners, or even those of you that are trying to be, an elite bodybuilder, elite powerlifter. If you want to be, the best and the best of the best in the world in those certain modalities, you need to go all in with that. You need to put, you have that singular focus on that modality. But this talk is very applicable to those of you who are trying to be those total hybrid athletes. So now when I'm saying a balance between volume and intensity, this might mean you go ahead and you decrease the amount of speed work, or it just might mean you get creative on how you're programming. It could be that, if you have, intervals one day or a tempo run one day, that might mean that, either you take a rest day on the strength side, or on the strength side, you go way lower. You're not going to want to do, an all-out interval session on the track and then go do hard Metcon for CrossFit, or those of you bodybuilding, really go out and try to push out max sets and all of that. You might want to decrease the volume. But if you have say an easy recovery run of 6 miles or so, that's then where you can go ahead and push it in the gym. So that's kind of how I've been doing. I've been, if I've got an intense day of running, I'm lowering the intensity in the gym, and then vice versa. If I'm really trying to go all out with a hard Metcon, something like that, then I'm gonna decrease the intensity of the run. Now, where things have really changed for me, because that's kind of black and white, that's what a lot of people are doing. Where things have changed for me is I've been following the advice of a guy named Alex Viata. Alex Viata is the GOAT of hybrid athletics. He's been around this for so long. I believe he works at Duke. He's studied this for over the last decade. He's set powerlifting records. He's run Ironmans. He's done 100-mile runs while being a freaking jacked dude. And he's really nailed this down. Now, where my training has changed over the last few weeks since I've been listening to him is essentially I've gotten rid of a lot of my junk mileage. So instead of trying to go out and do those 60 to 80 miles per week with running, this is where I've taken out a lot of the more junk miles that aren't really doing much for me, and I've essentially turned them into recovery runs. So you guys, if you've been following me, you know that I really love going off of heart rate, and I love following math. I've even decreased from my math heart rate. Now I'm actually trying to really stick between the 140 to 145 zone, to where most of my runs, unless it's a speed workout or long run, most of my runs are essentially my recovery time. I'm going out there and I'm getting the miles in, and I'm in that aerobic zone. I'm still building up that aerobic base, but it's even at a lower heart rate to really promote recovery. And then my intensity, most of it, 80% of my intensity is left for the gym. Now, so far, this is working out incredibly well. One, I'm putting some weight back on. I'm putting a lot of strength back on, and my intensity in the gym has gone way up, while my miles have pulled back a little bit, but my run times have, one, gotten a little bit better even at that heart rate, and two, I feel like I'm recovering way better. So I'm only about 3 weeks into trying this style of training, and I'm gonna keep you guys posted. This really is an experiment. I've got an ultra marathon, depending on what goes on with the situation, I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet. I've got Lean Horse on the calendar. Another one that I've been thinking about doing is the Habanero 100, doing either the 100K of that or the 50K. That one starts at noon, literally in August here in Texas. So that's another one that's a backup if Lean Horse doesn't work out. I'm doing an ultra in August. And so this really is an experiment, because I am decreasing my mileage. I'm keeping my long runs up on the weekend, but I'm upping my intensity. And me doing, a lot of the CrossFit style workouts with bodybuilding workouts, I'm absolutely loving getting back into the strength side again. You know, I've missed it with essentially just slogging out 50 to 80 miles per week every week for the last couple of years. So this has been a really, really nice change of pace. And I do feel my body's responding really, really well to essentially the recovery runs that I've implemented. Now, I was able to afford this. I was able to afford essentially getting rid of more of those junk miles and then turning a lot of my runs into recovery runs rather than going out and really, really trying to push the pace and all that. I'm able to really afford this because over the last few years, I've spent the last few years now doing ultra training to where I've built up this endurance base. You know, you've got to choose your goal. If you are really trying to go out and perform really well with ultras, and you're right now, you know, say more on the beginner side, and you're trying to build up that endurance base, you might not be able to decrease your mileage as much as what I've done right now, and to where I've, you know, incorporated a lot more CrossFit style workouts. Now keep in mind too, I am doing 2 workouts minimum per day almost every single day. I do have a rest day built into the week if I need it. Sometimes my rest day becomes an active recovery day, but keep in mind, I am, you know, doing 2 workouts per day. That could be a recovery run with, you know, CrossFit workout. That could be a recovery run with a bodybuilding workout. That could be a long run. That could be a track workout. You know, it all depends on what I've got programmed into the day. But you've got to choose your goal wisely with this. The whole point about all of this is you've got to have the perfect balance between volume and intensity, especially if you are someone like me who wants it all. You want to, you know, have the strength, have the endurance, you know, be able to go out and perform really, really fast with, say, like CrossFit stuff. You know, I love it all. I love CrossFit. I love strongman. I like bodybuilding style workouts. I love endurance, obviously. So I like it all. And I want to incorporate all of that into my training while keeping my performance high with my kind of A goal, which is ultra marathons. So the big point about this, find your balance between volume and intensity. And if you have any questions about this, you know, I've done tons of research on this, and I've also been, you know, experimenting with a lot of this for a little bit now. So if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'd love to go ahead and help you guys out with this. But just know it is very doable. You'll just have to get creative. And Alex Viata, his advice, you know, so far is really, really paying off. I've just had to decrease my mileage essentially and change up some of the runs. Instead of so much intensity on the run side, you know, that intensity is still coming out, but it's on the gym side. But it still is translating over to the run side as well. But I'll keep you guys posted as I move forward through the summer with this. So far, it's working out beautifully. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Drop any comments or questions down below. I'm here to help you guys out. Keep in mind, you do get 10% off all BPM products with code Braden at checkout. You can see that down in the description box below. Be happy, be positive, be powerful. Have a great rest of your day.